Yo! Before Amazon took over and you could buy sneakers, toilet paper, and a relationship all in one click, there was a magical place called the mall. And inside that mall, pure retail chaos. Stores that smelled like glitter and regret. Carpets sticky with surge. Dressing rooms with lighting that exposed your soul. This one's for the Gen Z kids who think Limited 2 is a setting on Instagram. Welcome to Retro Mix TV. This is the top 10 90s stores Gen Z never got to experience. Roll the nostalgia. Let's go. Coming in at number 10. The Discovery Channel store. Yeah, Gen Z before science was just a TikTok filter. We had a whole store dedicated to making you feel like you were about to launch the Mars rover from a mall kiosk. Walk in and it's instantly giving. Bill Nye's bedroom. Telescopes, astronaut helmets, plasma globes you weren't supposed to touch but always did. Dinosaur skeletons, lightning in a ball lamps, and those ant farms that somehow always died the same day you bought them. It was half toy store, half museum gift shop, and a full-on flex for every fifth grader who thought they were going to be a paleontologist until they discovered Fortnite. And the vibes? Immaculate. Ambient whale sounds playing, touchscreens that barely worked. This was the OnlyFans of educational retail. R.I.P. Discovery Store. Gen Z will never know the thrill of convincing your mom that slime putty was for learning. Coming in at number 9, the store that smelled like new plastic, sounded like ocean waves, and looked like your dad's man cave had a tech upgrade. Sharper Image. Imagine walking into a store and immediately being hit with a massage chair demo, a fogless shower mirror, and a $400 personal air purifier that did absolutely nothing. Gen Z has Dyson. We had ionized desk fans shaped like UFOs. Every product in Sharper Image looked like it was designed by a bored NASA intern with a Bluetooth obsession. Foot massagers, noise machines, levitating globes, and those mini Zen fountains that just dribbled. But in 1998, that was luxury. This was the store you accidentally wandered into at the mall while your parents were in Sears, and somehow spent 45 minutes testing a laser pointer shaped like a pen. It was bougie, unnecessary, and absolutely essential. Sharper Image isn't gone, it's just been reduced to an airport catalog. And trust me, Gen Z is not getting the full experience from Gates 22. At number 8, we've got a store so dramatic, so over the top, and so unnecessarily magical, it made Build-A-Bear look like a garage sale. We're talking about FAO Schwarz. This wasn't a toy store, it was a flex. A full Broadway production, where the lead actor was a $3,000 stuffed giraffe. You didn't shop here. You embarked on a journey. There were nutcracker doormen, life-size pianos, gold-plated rocking horses, and stuffed animals taller than your ego in middle school. It was the only place where you could build your own puppet, buy a wind-up robot, and take out a loan all in one visit. And don't even get us started on the mall versions. FAO Schwarz inside a suburban mall, that was like putting the Eiffel Tower in a Chuck E. Cheese. Gen Z will never know the chaos of convincing your mom to drop $85 on a plush flamingo because it was wearing a tutu. This wasn't a store. It was a childhood fever dream. And now, it lives on in TikTok mood boards and your unresolved shopping trauma. Number 7. Before Spotify, before YouTube, before you could scream, "Alexa, play Sad Girl playlist," we had Sam Goody. This was the place you went to spend $17.99 on a CD with one good song. And you felt good about it. The walls were stacked floor to ceiling with albums, VHS tapes, and posters of bands that looked like they hadn't slept since '94. You didn't just walk into Sam Goody, you descended into a world of teenage angst and shrink-wrapped chaos. It had listening stations that barely worked, security tags the size of frying pans, and an employee who judged you every time you asked, "Do you guys have Eiffel 65? Gen Z gets algorithmic playlists. We had to physically hunt for vibes. And you weren't cool unless you walked out with a sticker-covered CD case, a movie you weren't allowed to watch, and a limited edition poster that you immediately lost. Sam Goody wasn't just a store, it was a rite of passage. And Gen Z missed the whole mixtape. Number 6, KB Toys. Before Amazon Prime and one-click orders, there was pure, unfiltered chaos, and it lived inside a mall. KB Toys wasn't just a store, it was a sensory overload mission. Toys stacked high like skyscrapers, bins full of action figures you had to dig through like treasure. And don't forget the screaming Furbies. They were everywhere. This wasn't a casual Target stroll. It was retail warfare. Kids sprinting through aisles, Nerf guns being tested in real time, RC cars doing donuts by the register. It was loud, messy, and totally glorious. Gen Z? Y'all will never know the thrill of walking out with a knockoff Power Ranger and feeling like a legend. KB Toys was the mall's wild child, and we miss every minute of it. Number 5, the Disney Store. Yeah, technically it still exists, but let's be real, it's not the same. Back in the 90s, there were over 700 Disney stores worldwide. Now, fewer than 25 in the US, and most malls haven't seen that magic since flip phones were cool. The Disney Store wasn't just retail, it was a whole event. You didn't just walk in, you entered a mini Disneyland with AC and a credit limit. Velvet carpet, Mickey-shaped lights, statues of Simba judging your spending habits. Everything felt premium, even the Snow White pencil set you'd never use. They had Lion King bedsheets, Aladdin snow globes, and more Hercules merch than that movie probably deserved. And that wall of VHS tapes, pure gold. So yeah, Shop Disney is fine, but it ain't that. The real Disney Store? That one disappeared faster than your Tamagotchi's battery. Number 4, Toys R Us. This wasn't just a toy store. It was a full-blown childhood arena with neon lights and parental guilt trips built in. Jeffrey the Giraffe? That dude was royalty. He ran the kingdom, and the kingdom had everything. Massive aisles, demo zones that barely worked, and walls stacked with Power Rangers, Polly Pocket, and whatever TMNT just dropped. You didn't shop here. You waged war with your siblings over who got the better action figure. And don't forget the chaos when a new game dropped. Those shelves cleared in seconds. The jingle burned into your memory. The logo looked like it was written by a sugar-high toddler, and we loved it. Gen Z can 2-day ship anything. But we had the thrill of running through Toys R Us like it was the Super Bowl for plastic dreams. Number 3, Circuit City. Before Best Buy took over the world, there was Circuit City, and it was glorious. Red plug logo? Iconic. Store layout? Confusing. Customer service? Hit or miss, but who cared? They had the tech. Big screen TVs the size of refrigerators, stereo systems stacked like Jenga, and PC towers that cost more than your car. The CD section? Underrated. The camcorder aisle? Elite. The demo computers? Definitely frozen, but we clicked them anyway. You didn't go to Circuit City for one thing. You went to browse, vibe, and accidentally spend $800 on a surround sound system you didn't need. Gen Z has online reviews. We had floor models, display tags, and that weird carpet smell that meant electronics were near. Circuit City was loud, clunky, wired-up 90s mall tech at its absolute peak. Number 2, Blockbuster. This wasn't a store. This was a weekly ritual. Friday night, you didn't scroll, you rushed Blockbuster, praying the new release wall still had that one copy left. The vibes? Fluorescent lights, popcorn-scented air, and aisles of blue and yellow temptation. You judged movies by the cover, argued over snacks in the checkout line, and pretended to understand your older siblings' weird horror movie picks. Late fees? Brutal. Rewinding tapes? Required. But that feeling when you snagged the last copy of a Blockbuster hit? Pure 90s euphoria. Gen Z has streaming, we had Blockbuster. And honestly, we still win. Number 1, Tower Records. This wasn't just a store, it was a national landmark for music freaks. The second you walked in, you were hit with that perfect storm. Buzzing speakers, bold yellow walls, and racks of CDs stacked like skyscrapers. You didn't ask for help. You wandered, got lost, and discovered an album that changed your life forever. Every section felt like its own universe. Hip-hop, metal, jazz, imports, all curated with impossibly cool taste by the staff who practically lived there. Tower Records wasn't chill. It was chaotic, expensive, intimidating, and totally addictive. You came for one CD, left with 5, and a poster you didn't need but had to have. This wasn't just where we bought music. This is where we became fans.
That's it for today's Nostalgia Overload. 10 stores, 1 childhood, and at least 7 emotional flashbacks. If you smiled, cried, or whispered, "Oh my god, I forgot about that," you owe us a like. Subscribe for more retro chaos and drop a comment. Which store do you still wish you could get lost in? This is Retro Mix TV, reminding you that the 90s weren't just a vibe, they were an entire mall. Catch you next time, mall rats.